I am a firm believer, or at least I used to be a firm believer in the American dream. I believe that in America you can be whatever you set out to be. No goal is too large to accomplish. No dream is too outlandish. Even if, let's just say for example, even if you were a used car salesman and your dream was to raise an army of high school football players so that y'all can take over a small country in Africa, here in America, that is a possibility. But is there a such thing as taking the American dream too far? In fact, that's what I'm actually here to talk to you all about today. A man that took the American dream way too far. A man by the name of Christian Malanga. You see, Christian came to America to find a better life in the 90s. He was a refugee. Him and his family were refugees from the Congo. But after living a somewhat successful life in America, having multiple kids, working as a car salesman, Christian became really involved and really interested in the politics that were going on in the Congo. He would take trips back and forth. He would get involved in certain altercations and issues that were happening in the Congo. Hell, even from right here in America, he formed his own political party for the Congo. Where else can you do that in the world? You're literally chilling in Utah selling used cars, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to form my own Congolese political party. Well, Christian did just that. He didn't let anything stop him. He took the American dream by the balls, and you said, you know what? I'm going to take it one step further than any other American has ever taken it. Well, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but he decided that, you know what? I'm going to take over the Congo. Now, for those of you all who don't know, and I don't blame you if you don't, because there's so much crazy stuff going on in the world that it distracts you from all of the other crazy stuff going on in the world. So everyone's focused on Palestine or Gaza and the Middle East right now. But man, things are really, really bad in the Congo. They're so bad that literal groups of people from America can just go over there and try to overthrow their president whenever they want to. And that's exactly what happened a couple of weeks ago. Now for Christian, we'll dive more into his backstory maybe in future videos. But let's just say the American dream was taken a little too far and it didn't end well. Because Christian decided that he was going to try to overthrow the government in the Congo. But he did not want to do it alone. He recruited his son, a 21-year-old American who had a lot of friends in America. He was a former high school football player. So Christian, through his son, basically used his son to recruit other young men to their cause. But reportedly, allegedly, these young men had no idea what they were getting into. Christian was offering these young men $100,000. He told them that they were going to be working a security job. And they would go over there to Africa, they would help him with security, and that would be it. Allegedly, little did most of these people know, they weren't working security, really. They were maybe security for Christian in his attempt to overthrow the government. And a lot of these young men from America found themselves in the middle of a coup. They found themselves in the presidential palace of the Congo, fighting the Congo government. And unfortunately for Christian, he did not make it out alive. He got killed right in front of his son, right in front of all of the other kids and young men that he recruited to go over to Africa with him. It's a very crazy situation that was all unfolding over the past couple of weeks. You may have heard about it, but now the problem is some of these young men that Christian recruited to go work security, aka overthrow the government in the Congo. Some of them are now prisoners and they're being held over there as we speak. Now, personally, you could probably tell by the way I've been wording things, I'm not so sure if I believe all of these young men had no idea what they were getting themselves into. I understand that some people are slow, some people are stupid, some people can be misguided by their elders and stuff like that. But I think at some point, if I find myself all the way in Africa wearing army fatigues with an assault rifle, and I'm with like 70 other dudes who are all looking the same, and then we got this leader who's talking about overthrowing the government, and we make our way into the presidential palace, at some point the realization is going to kick in that, wait, what in the hell am I really getting myself into? This obviously isn't what I signed up for. But I don't know for sure if these people knew what they were getting themselves into or not. But regardless, they should have kind of figured things out. And now they're in a really messed up situation. Because their leader, Christian, was killed right in front of them. The coup was shut down. The coup did not work, obviously. And now these young men are trapped over there, or at least it's believed they're trapped over there. But we don't know if they're alive or not. I can't show all of the videos here, obviously, but there has been videos of these young men, getting beat up. They're not looking good. One of them was already suffering from malaria, and now their parents are reaching out, trying to get the American government involved, trying to get their kids out of the Congo, saying that they were basically, misguided. They were told that they were going on a nice trip in Africa, and it turns out they were there to go to war. You know what I mean? So, as I said, listen, this story is so complex and so crazy. I'll have to do multiple videos to really dig into the backstory. But for now, I want you all to hear from these parents whose child is trapped over there, if not dead already. And then after this clip, I'll be right back with more thoughts.
You'll only see on 2 News tonight. 2 Utah moms say they are terrified for their sons as they're in police custody in the Congo. The Congolese government says the Utah men were arrested after a failed attack on the presidential palace, but the mothers say their boy is completely innocent. It is our top story tonight on 2 News at 6. I'm Heidi Hatch.
And I'm Mark Cabell. Tyler Thompson's parents say their son was completely unaware of any plot against the presidential palace, and they can only hope the State Department can help bring him home.
2 News' Paul Nelson spoke to these moms and joins us live from West Jordan. So, Paul, what are they saying?
Well, they're telling us that Thompson wasn't even intending on going to the Democratic Republic of Congo. They say he was actually touring other African nations with a friend. And they say that friend also had no idea what was going to happen in the DRC. It was supposed to be a family trip to Africa, but it turned deadly over the weekend. Rebecca Higbee says her son, Tyler Thompson, was invited to travel through several countries in Africa with his longtime friend, Marcel Malanga.
My son, Tyler, has been friends with Marcel for years. They've been playing football together. And every summer, Marcel would go see his dad, just like any divorced couple. He would go spend summers with his dad in Africa.
Marcel is the son of Christian Malanga, the man killed in a shootout after an alleged attack on the Congolese presidential palace. Higbee says Malanga was shot in front of her son and Marcel. Since then, they've been trying to get any information about Thompson. They've been searching online, and the images they've seen have them frightened.
We just see images, and every time we see an image, my son seems more bloody, more like wrist looks broken, nose looks broken.
Miranda Thompson is Tyler's stepmother. She says Tyler was scrapbooking his trips to Africa, showing off their visit to Johannesburg and the restaurants they visited in Swaziland. The last communication he sent to his mother was that he loved her. But since Sunday, no direct information at all.
We don't know where he is. We don't know what he's doing, what he's going through. We're just terrified.
For now, they can only wait for any news from the State Department.
I mean, we get to trust that it's their job, right? And that it's what they do, and their job is to look after American citizens. And that literally all we can do at this point is trust that they are going to do that job.
Unfortunately, though, the mothers tell us that even the State Department is having trouble getting in contact with either Tyler or Marcel. They say the Congolese government has restricted access to both of these Utah men.
They were detained by the military police with a potential coup on the presidential palace.
This is Tyler in Congolese custody.
And they showed me some of the video clips, and I lost it.
As it turned out, the high school buddy's dad just happened to be self-exiled leader Christian Malonga, who was accused of orchestrating the coup and was shot to death while resisting arrest. Tyler's family still doesn't know how he was caught up in that.
We have zero answers. We'd like to know just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
The family's been told by U.S. officials that Tyler is still alive, and they're grateful for the support they've received so far from everyone.
I can't begin to tell you the amount of love and appreciation.
Now, I don't want to seem like I'm heartless, or anything like that. But in the grand scheme of things, right? We have Americans that are trapped in various parts of the world, political prisoners, prisoners of war, spies, all types of stuff, right? In the grand scheme of things, how much effort should the U.S. government put into getting these people out of the Congo? At the end of the day, y'all went to Africa and tried to overthrow a freaking government. Literally walked into the presidential palace and tried to basically, start a war with the freaking president. I'm not trying to laugh at the situation that these young men are in, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you put yourself in this stupid situation. Don't expect to get bailed out. And, the parents are like, well, if they're doing their jobs, hopefully we can rely. I don't know if that is their job. Is it really their job to try to free some people who knowingly are I don't know what to believe. But is it really their job to try to free these young men who are just over there obviously trying to overthrow the government? If some men from other countries came to America and tried to kill the president and overthrow the government, would we just be like, oh, they didn't know any better. Here you go, China. Here you go, Russia. Here's the people you sent to kill our president. You know what I mean? So it's kind of outlandish when you really think about it. Really think about it. Don't think about it as an American. Think about it just as a person with common sense. No. It's like, you guys just came over here and tried to kill our president and overthrow our country. Why in the hell are we going to allow you to walk out the door free just because you say, oh, I had no idea what was going on? That's not an excuse that's going to work in the outside world. Maybe some people in America have a privileged enough life that you can just say, well, I had no idea what was going on. And, you don't suffer any consequences for something stupid you did. But this is the real world. You know what I mean? You're out here in the freaking Congo. Of all places, you're in the Congo, hoping that they're going to free you after you tried to overthrow their government with a bunch of your ex-high school football player buddies and the one fun dad, that probably drank too much at the barbecue, would come up with these cool stories, and you followed him over there to Africa thinking things were going to be all good, and then you see him get popped in the head right in front of you, and now you're a prisoner in the freaking Congo because you had no common sense, and you're expecting the American government to somehow get you out of this situation. And all I'm saying is this, I would be happy if these people could be returned to their families, but I'm not going to be surprised if they get killed or something along those lines, because that's what you should expect. 100, 200, 300 years ago, when there was all of this war going on throughout the world, and people were taking over countries left and right, overthrowing kings and queens, and feudal Japan, when people were fighting to become the shogun and the supreme ruler. Never in a million years did any of these people think, oh, this guy came in and tried to kill me. Maybe they just had a misunderstanding. Maybe they were just misguided. Maybe they had no idea why they were here. Let's free them. That's not how the real world works. So I don't know what's going to happen to these young men. But at the end of the day, just looking at this story, it's absolutely insane. And I know I was halfway joking at the beginning of this video, but that's the truth. In America, you can be and do whatever you freaking want. And even though this story is sad and tragic, it should inspire you. Because if a used car salesman from Utah can wake up one day and decide, I'm going to be the new king of the Congo, what's stopping you from accomplishing one of your goals? If some used car salesman from Utah can say, hey, I'm going to use my son to recruit an army of high school football players, and we're going to go take over a country in Africa and reign supreme as kings, then what's stopping you from accomplishing your goals? Hopefully your goals aren't too outlandish and insane, but if your goals are reasonable, I think that this should inspire you to go out there and just get it done. Because the crazies are out there doing whatever they want to do, okay? So the sane people that are still in this world, we need to go out there and accomplish our goals. We need to stop being held back. We need to stop doubting ourselves. And if you ever do doubt yourself, remember Christian Malonga. Maybe if he doubted himself, he would still be alive, but that's beside the point. The point is, he believed that he too could be a king of an African country, and he let nothing stop him, but a bullet to the head, of course. But with that being said, I'll probably dive into this story a little bit more because there's so much weird, interesting stuff about this story. But for now, let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.